Let's see. Yeah, okay, I'll just quickly go ahead. I'll go ahead and try and do this one real quick. But first, let's talk to Walk the Mod, see if she has something different. So, can you still smell me? Be honest. I don't really want to smell you, Walk the Mod. The Feet of Gold. Ernville wishes to discuss the Feet of Gold. As Book the Mod helped to demonstrate, the Valley Alpaca are wary people. Getting close enough to catch one will not be an easy task. You might have warned me about that earlier. I have enough trouble with tame alpacas. How do you expect me to wrangle a wild one? With the proper saddle, you infuse the leather with a relaxing scent that soothes the spitting beasts. Wonderful! Give me one of those then, you gotta buy it, bro. Have you perhaps forgotten we are a clan of merchants? If you want a taming saddle, you'll need to find a saddler and make them an offer. And you see, that's the thing, this is the kind of thing where this is the kind of task that he was actually getting at, where you have to go and actually make real preparations to be able to do this. Whereas the first son ended up just going off and now he's gonna do it with brute force and like nearly kill it. It's like, that's not taming it, that's catching it. Actually, I think that was the requirement. I think the requirement was catching one, not taming it, wasn't it? Anyway. They don't come cheap, of course. Crafting a saddle will cost you the equivalent of 10 pel in the thousands column. Oh, good thing I got a bunch of gil, and I'm a crafter. You mean 10,000 pel? I don't have that kind of coin. Converting to gil, that comes out to be around 1 million or so. Be happy if we all pitch in. Elfner, aren't you rich? Let's ignore the 100 million in my pocket. No. This is my feat to accomplish. I wouldn't feel right having you others pay the cost. I'll find the money. Somehow. In that case... Oh. What? That basket of wool is worth the sum you paid me earlier. 1 pel. In the hundreds column. Beginning with the wool, you can trade even for ever more valuable goods until you have something suitable to bargain with for the saddle. Interesting, okay. That's a nice gesture, but do you think I can turn 100 pel into 1 million? Yeah, just make a bunch of, housing furniture. That's 10,000 times more. We needed 10,000 pel, not 1 million. Of course you got the math wrong. So we're going to look at 100 times more. Oh, right. I panicked and got confused with Alphinode's million gil. I'm not so sure about this trading idea. You were almost talked into buying a cloak you didn't need for mere moments after you arrived. Yep, she sure did. But I hate it when you're right. Then let me help you with your deal making. How much are you gonna pay? What percentage commission are you taking? Oh, hello again. Mablu. I work here as a ranch hand, but I've also learned a lot about the peddler profession. It's alright if I aid now, yes? I guided the claimants towards the first step of the feat, like you asked. As long as Wuklamot goes alone to capture her alpaca, she is free to accept assistance from whomever she likes. Yeah, the task is to capture an alpaca, not tame an alpaca. So the other guy, the first son's just gonna brute force it, just like the two-headed guy will probably do, and then the smart guy will probably just like easily do it with some smart tactics. Or the second son. Hooray! Let's see about getting that saddle then, Third Promise. I don't know why you made your offer, but I could use an ally with a beak for bargains. Welcome aboard, Mablu. Should the rest of us stay behind, perhaps? It may be easier to haggle over prices without so many voices chiming in. That's true. Yes, stay here in Pichin with the ranch work. With my blue gone, I'll need extra hands to tend to the alpacas. Fair enough. Gladly. Although, Brillian, I think you should go with Wickelmont. You've seen markets and bazaars the world over, and surely you have sage advice to share. Well, I sure do. In that case, you should also hold on to the alpaca wool. If it's misplaced or soiled in some way, you'll have nothing to bargain with. As if I'd do such a thing, but I'll leave the wool with Brillian anyway. The better to keep my hands free. To begin, I suggest we try trading the wool to Havil, the saddler. He won't agree to a deal, of course, but it'll give us the idea of how much he'll accept for his wares. That's a good idea, so we can get an actual amount for what we need, instead of having to just assume that it's whatever the guy said. I already forgot his name. It's like Obley or something. Alright, let's go ahead and, yeah, Tobley, that's his name. Let's go and talk to everyone, and then head on over to the markets. Matt Blue hasn't given up, I see. What's that about? Turning 100 pel worth of wool into 10,000 pel saddle is exactly the kind of suggestion I'd expect from the head of a merchant clan. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I'd worry if it was just Wickelmont, but it sounds like Mablu knows a thing or two about trading. Although, judging by what Tobley said, I'm guessing that she's actually not that good at it, or that she, like, failed to do it before, which is why she's a ranch hand, and also probably why she's wearing the pink robes instead of the red robes. I have every confidence you'll come back with the saddle. Thanks, Cryo. Tending to alpacas, are we? I had some experience with that when I was younger. Alright then, let's head on over to the markets. See about the trade. See if we can help them on out. Let's see, where are they? Oh, I see Wickelmont over there, so that's probably where we need to go. This is the artisan who makes our taming saddles. Is it really possible to make 100 times what this wool is worth just through trading? Yes, it is. We'll ignore the 100 million gil in my back pocket. And the like 30 million gil I have in my retainers. Something I can do for you. We've come to bargain. I need one of your special taming saddles to catch a wild alpaca. A saddle, is it? How will you be paying for it? With this basket of fine alpaca wool. What use does a saddle maker have for wool? Besides, this would barely cover the cost of a single strap buckle. Offer me something I actually want. And what might that be? Mezcal. Of course he wants booze. I like to nurse a cup at each day's end while I inspect my finished work. Bring me a jug of quality stuff, and you've got yourself a deal. Well, that's gonna be way easier than I thought. This bodes well for us, third promise. Such mezcal can be had for only 5 pel in the thousands column. That's much cheaper than what we thought. Like half as much, right? Hold on. Did you say third promise? Then my offer has changed. The saddle is going to cost you a jug of premium mezcal, aged 3 years at least. 3 years? That stuff is valued at 10,000 pel or more. Why have you doubled the price? Mablu, you let it slip that this person may potentially... that this is the third promise. That was your fault. Because I must support the man of ambition who will see my business prosper. Zaral Jaw will go to war, and his cavalry will need saddles. Lots of saddles. Of course, the merchants are warmongers. Yeah, and they're gonna profit off of it. See, maybe they are like Lalfels. I was saying they were having difference, but maybe they are really just like Lalfels. It's nothing personal, I promise, but I won't sell you my craft for anything less than my asking price. Can't say I blame him. I'm known for championing peace, and peace is unlikely to bring him more customers. Those of our grandparents' generation remember the dark days when the clans were at war. Many of these fellow pray for your victory, Boklamot. The younger ones, though, to them, strife and bloodshed are as children's stories. They think themselves safe from these horrors, and to take the peace we now enjoy for granted. Yeah, that sounds about right. Still others are unsatisfied with this quiet prosperity, and crave the future of the second promise and visions. They've become obsessed with the innovations like the I could never pronounce this right. Dirigibles that have made trade swift and easy. That actually makes sense too. That's more of a peaceable solution, but also expanding borders and technology to make more profit. So really, I don't see I only see the old people supporting Book Lamont, so I'm not sure how she's gonna gain their favor. Then you have those like Havli, convinced that the first promise's plans for conquest will afford them opportunities for great profit. I mean, it probably will, but like what cost? But what about you, Mablu? Aren't you of the younger generation? At least a year or two younger than me, I'd say. Oh, I was raised on the old tales. I've memorized the accounts of what it was like when the Yokoi ruled our village. I forget the history of that, but I assume it was bad. That's why I offered to help. I want you to become Dawn's servant, to keep our nation from going back to the way it was. Well then, I guess I'd better make sure I win the contest. But the type of mezcal the saddlemaker wants is so very expensive. Weren't we expecting to need 10,000 pel from the outset? Nothing's changed. We just need to get on with it. I may not have a head for trade or the stomach for alpacas, but I won't give up with the peace of Tuliolol on the line. Then neither will I. We will make you Dawn servant. Aiming for the 10,000 pel jug right away will only bring us failure and frustration. So let's first try exchanging the wool for anything even a touch more valuable. The trick is to find someone who needs an alpaca wool and is willing to trade at a loss to acquire it. Someone who supports your bid for the throne, for instance. And who would that be? Do you have anyone in mind? Oh, right, that guy. I was wondering, it would be a pretty mediocre story if it was, if we didn't actually include him. Although then again, he does have a lot of wool already. Of course, the Weaver. Bolnock was his name, I believe. He went out of his way to say he agreed with my vision and he was here to buy wool. But didn't he get a ton of wool already? I think I remember the direction he was going, but for now, let's head back to that road where we first met him. No, look with mud, don't get lost. Stupid jerk. As you can see, I'll need the finest leather for my saddle. I'm still saying they should have a slash punt emote. I mean, these guys aren't Lalfels, but they're small. I think slash punt would work too. Anyway, let's head on back to the crossroads where we ran into that guy. See if we can find him again. But didn't he just say that he got way more wool than he needed? I don't think he's going to be quite as willing to trade the wool, even if it's going to support Woklamont. Is this where you met the Weaver? Yep, and he went down the only other path that he could have gone. This is the spot. After Bull Nook talked to us, he walked off to the south. Then he was probably going to Ikulo's Inn. Most visitors, though, Wakunpelo, end up staying there. Let's go and check, shall we? Alright. Alright, let's head down south, and there's no aetherite here, right? No. It's just a small thing. Oh, there's another thing I need to kill. Go ahead and kill these guys. Yeah, I remember how to play this class again. Yeah, I needed only 2. Actually, I only needed 1. Yeah, right. Let's keep on heading over to the inn. Ah, there he is. Hopefully, he'll actually be able to buy the wool. Although I suspect it's gonna be a little bit harder than this. So is this quest line just gonna be a big trade quest? Which actually, I guess that kind of makes sense, considering this is the merchant tribe. I hope he's willing to offer us something wonderful in exchange. Ah, we meet again. But wait, weren't you all on your way to Wakunpelo? Wakunpelo? That's not how you say that. Can I have that basket, Brilliant? Yep, here it is. I don't know why you needed me to do it manually this time. Thanks. Now let's see if we can turn a profit. I suspect this one's gonna be... No, it's not. Okay. Thought it might be voiced. Bull Nook, I'm glad we found you. Are you interested in making a trade? Third promise. You wish to do business with me? Might I ask what this is all about? So you see, these annoying merchants want us to turn a profit to buy a saddle so that I can catch an alpaca. I see. So the goal is to turn that basket of wool into a jug of 3-year-old premium mezcal? And allow me to invest in your efforts. Oh, good. He's more than happy to pay for several times the price. Peace interall is what allows me to cross freely into the lands of my suppliers. Naturally, I would prefer that one pledged to preserve that peace win the throne. Thus do I humbly offer you this wool poncho, a small token that I pray contributes to your victory. Oh, that'll give us a good bit more, potentially more value than just a little bit of wool, if it's already been processed. Oh, that's fine craftsmanship. A garment like that would have easily fetch 5 pel in the hundreds column. Much better. That's very generous, Bull Nook. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I have every faith in you, Third Promise. May fortune bless your future dealings. I can't believe you quintupled your investment with your first deal. We're off to a spectacular start. Only because Brilliant remembered our weaver friend. All I did was hand over the wool. That's not true. The connections you build with people are vital. This is one of the most fundamental precipices of trading. One which you've instinctively mastered. That's true. We've already established that she's really good with people. You think so? I know so. Now, let's take our 500 pel poncho and trade it for something even more valuable. Here, Brilliant. You take the poncho. If I lost it somehow, Erinville would never let me hear the end of it. All set. Our next deal is waiting to be found. Excellent trade! Success! You traded 100 pail basket of alpaca wool for a 500 pail wool poncho. Alright, good job, Oklaman. Let's see where we go from here. We turned 100 pail into 500. I know it's only 5 times more, but it feels like 500 times more. That's not how money works. Leveraging connections is a sound strategy, but we should also consider supply and demand. An individual in urgent need of a good poncho will offer more than a merchant simply looking to stock his shelves. That's true. That makes sense. But how do we know if someone needs a poncho? Well, if they don't have a poncho, they aren't wearing one. They have a fabulous sense of style. How about they aren't wearing one? That's the obvious answer, isn't it? We look for a person without a poncho, and hope they're eager to buy ours. Yes, there you go. We find the demand for our supply. So, where should we begin our search for prospective buyers? There are any number of places, but we could do worse starting right here in the inn. There might be interested travelers, right, because this is an inn for all the people that visit the area. Who here needs a poncho? A lot of Jaw hardly wear anything to begin with. Those are probably Landsguard or sellswords. Jaw, who soldier for a living, prefer not to wear much above the waist. It hampers their movements. So even if they have barred shoulders, Jaw carrying arms can be stuck off the list. Okay. Okay, so this guy's got a poncho. This person has weapons. I can't tell. Probably not the sweaty one, since he's, yeah, so not these two. I think this one, maybe? It's gonna be one of these two. I can't tell if that guy has armor or not, but this guy definitely doesn't have weapons. Oh no, he has armor, so I think it's gonna be this guy. Let's see. No coat or cloak, but also no weapon. Oh, we might have a winner. Oh there, a friend. You're not a mercenary by trade, right? I was curious about your bold choice of dress, or lack thereof. Oh, it was no choice of mine, believe me. I was attacked by beasts on the way here, and barely escaped with my skills intact. My coat was not so lucky. Oh, that's perfect. Exactly what we're looking for. I'm actually a toolmaker from Tuliolol, and was dressed quite smartly. All the better to show the Pelu. I am a man who takes pride in his appearance, and therefore his work as well. But now look at me. Well, sir, it's your lucky day. What a splendid poncho. This would be the perfect replacement for the coat I lost. Perfect. You have anything to offer to trade? We'd be willing to part with it, if you'd like to make a trade. For one of your fine tools, perhaps. What about this hatchet? I crafted it myself, and will vouch for its quality. The blade looks sharp, and half well made. I'd value it at 1 pail in the thousands column already. We're doubling our money again. Oh, from 500 to 1,000. What? We have a deal. Wonderful. A fine garment such as this should put me in even footing with any Pelu merchant. Like the eponymous owner of the Mipple's Mate Martin, for one. Our field hands use hatchets to harvest the mate, and I thought to impress her with this tool I sold you. Maybe we can sell it instead. No matter, I have other wares to sell. Glad I am to have met you. Did you hear that? We've already found our next buyer. To Mipple's Mate Garden we go. Yes, but it's a fair distance on foot. We should take alpacas. Look at them on. Also, I suspect we're not going to go through with this full trade quest, because this is going to get pretty long and dragged out if we take too long on it. These ones will be the calm type, right? I mean, I don't know, Wokelamont. Excellent trade! Success. You traded 500 pel wool poncho for 1,000 pel hatchet. Alright, Wokelamont, let's see, what do you have to say? Here we go again, riding alpacas. Yep, Wokelamont, riding alpacas. Well done recognizing that toolmaker as a potential customer. If you have a mind to change professions, you'd make an excellent merchant. He says as he looks down at his gill pile. Anyway, let's wrap this one up. All right, let's get back to it. Let me grab this Aether Current, because I completely forgot that I needed to be looking around for Aether Currents. Hopefully I haven't missed one and that this is the first one we're supposed to get. It means I'm probably gonna need to pull out the compass again. Yeah, let's move Wondrous Tales over here. I guess I could just put it on this bar instead. And then it's not companion. Not under duty, is it? I guess it is. Here it is, collection and Aether Compass. Let's put that there. See where the next one is? Okay, yeah, south. Okay, unless it's like, yeah, we wouldn't have gone over there yet. So this is the first Aether Current we were supposed to get. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk to Mablu here, and then talk to Wokelamont and continue to the next quest. Let's see, the next quest is Mablu's Dream. We've been doing so well. Even Tobli would have to agree. Mablu's Dream. Wokelamont steels herself for the ride to find your next trading partner. Before we get to moving, you should be the one to take hold of this. Yeah. That'd probably be a good idea. With that, I suppose we should hop on the alpacas Mablu has so kindly provided. If I'm going to catch a wild alpaca after this, I can't be shying away from the tame ones. Not that I'm scared of them, you understand. Or their nasty, disgusting, foul-smelling spit. I mean, that last part is understandable. Ready to go? Let's mount up. Begin an alpaca ride? Yes. On the road again. And it's off. To the mate fields we go. Please don't spit. Please don't spit. You'll be fine. These ones are accustomed to people. I still don't trust them. You have a knack for riding, no matter what you say. But our alpaca friends, we Pelu would have become traveling merchants. Can you imagine walking all the way across Thrall? Yeah, that's called not having flying. I swear, that mountain is too tall to heal. To be real. This is a fantasy game. Of course, Zamor, wasn't that the name? And foreboding sight, isn't it? One I've never appreciated up close. You have to take a long way around the cliffs to get there, to the highlands belonging to the Yorku, and they were the ones that were ruling them before, I believe. At least that's what they said. So, Mablu, you said you were learning about the peddler profession? You don't care for ranch work? No, I love it. I love working with alpacas. But becoming a peddler has always been a dream of mine. It's just, I'm not sure I have the talent for it. If I can help you buy the taming saddle, though, then it should be proof that I can do this after all. In that case, you'd best get ready to be a merchant. Look, we're almost here. There. Of course, there's no aetherite over here. Is this giant place only gonna... Okay, so it's got one in the north and one in the south area. Also, this is gonna end up being like Labyrinthos, where Labyrinthos and Thavnair, where half of it, you explore half of it in the first quest line, and then you explore it in the other half later. We made it, and without a single smelly incident. I sent the alpacas back to Ikuvo's inn, so we'll walk along the main road when we return to the village. Speaking of the roads to travel, you were adopted by the Dawn Servant, weren't you, Third Promise? What made you think that? That I was. Then perhaps you understand. I was an orphan too, you see. Tobli took me in. He took in all the ranch hands, actually. All of them? Yes, and everyone works hard at their chores, grateful for the opportunity to repay the head ledger's generosity. Yet here I am, the only one wanting to go off and be a merchant. I don't think he'd mind. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this. We need to keep trading things for your saddle if you're to prepare for the feat of gold. As it's meat harvesting season, they can't have too many quality hatchets. Add that to Woklamont's way with people, and we should have no trouble making a favorable deal. That's Miplu herself over there. Pass the hatchet to the Third Promise, and let's get to bargaining. Wait a minute, Woklamont's skill is definitely her way with people. Alright, Miplu, so what do you have to say? To what do I owe this honor? Did you give the hatchet back to Woklomont? We should let her do the talking. Well, yeah, she has to do the actual talking for this. It'd be interesting if Mablu this whole time was actually just a, working for, Nobly, Tobly, and, like, told to keep an eye to make sure Woklamont's the one doing the work. That'd be interesting. You have the little axe, that little axe for me? Yes, I guess it's a little axe. Considering the one that's on your back. Thanks. Now to see what we can get for it. Don't Miplu, the owner of these fields. I have a mind to trade if you're interested. Well, well, the Third Promise. I might be convinced to entertain a proposal. What do you have to offer? This hatchet, forged by a seasoned artisan. The razor edge of this exceptional tool will make light work of your crops. The quality is acceptable, I suppose. I offer you a large sack of mate leaves in exchange. A sack of mate leaves is valued at 1 pail in thousands column, the same price as the hatchet. This deal would bring us no closer to the mezcal. If I may, Mistress Miplu, it's harvesting season, is it not? Does not the demand for hatchets afford them a higher value? That's a very good point. It is indeed the season, which is why I procured an ample batch of tools well in advance. Well, I mean, that was expected. We've missed the window for demand. In that case, we'll have to fall back on connections. Think of it this way. A generous deal here will put you in the Third Promise's good graces. Surely that's worthy of consideration. I do not wish to give offense, but I must tell you that I stand with the Second Promise. That would make sense for this person. His innovations will improve every aspect of our lives, I believe, including farming, and I will no longer have need for hatchets. That makes sense for them to be with the Second Promise. I assure you that I have nothing but respect for Woklomont. That is why I'm prepared to purchase a spare hatchet at a fair price. I suppose it is fair given your reasons, but we ourselves would be no better off for the transaction. How about this then? If we were to help you in your harvest, would you give us a better deal? As a matter of fact, I would. Until Kwan's reforms can't come about, I can always use more hands in the fields. Well, back to the fields. Then you can go ahead and add our labor to the bargain. Added value to tip the scales. How could I have forgotten one of the most basic rules of trading? You can rest here if you'd like, Mablu. Brilliant and I have a mate together. Yeah, I'd say we're definitely more suited to this task. Oh no, I'm helping too. Off to the fields then, and mind you pick the healthy leaves. I'll take 5 good bundles from each of you. Well, back to the mate fields. Isn't it splendid? Go ahead, drink in the verdant vista of my beautiful mate garden. Also, let's check for aether currents around here. 49 northwest, good thing I did. It's like right over here. Yep, there it is. Obviously, we won't be able to get all the aether currents, but I think getting, I believe getting a couple of them improves your mount speed, your ground mount speed, I forget. It's been a while. Alright, next one is really far east. This way? Okay, yeah. So there's one, probably in between the two cities. We'll figure that out once we head back there. Because it said we're gonna take, we're gonna go by foot instead of the alpacas. Alright, let's try working from left to right. Branch of verdant mate leaves. I think it's supposed to be like mate or meat. Actually, I guess mate would make more sense. Because these isn't supposed to be Japanese. If it was Japanese, it would be mate. Let's see, is Wiclamont and whatever her name was over here, Mablu? Let's see, do I see them over here anywhere? Usually the NPCs are here. Yeah, there's Mablu, let's talk to her. I think it's a girl, I don't know. Did you see how Wiclamont came to my rescue there? She's really good with people, yeah. I'd say it's definitely her greatest strength. Oh, there's Wiclamont. I walked right past her. I wasn't sure Miplu would bite, but it goes to show that you never know until you try. Well, that's a good point. Let's head up to this one. We got another one in the middle, and that should wrap up these 5. Alright. Mount up and head back. Deliver our 5 bushels each? Bunches, right? Whatever they called them. You've brought me some leaves, then? Yes, I have. They look a lot like the other generic leaves that you can get. An acceptable harvest. We'll see how your companions fared before I make any decisions, though. I'm sure they did fine. At least Wiclamont did. Here, we've bought our share as well. Thank you, Third Promise. This is more than enough to hold up your end of the bargain. Now it's time to honor mine, after adding the value of your labor to the price of the hatchet. I am prepared to offer you a full sack of our highest grade mate leaves. And how much is that worth? Premium mate. Bought at the shop, 1 sack of those leaves would cost no less than 5 pel in the thousands column. Very nice. We were at 1,000 before, weren't we? Then we can bid farewell to this hatchet. I'll give it a good home. Talk of the contest aside, I'm glad we could come to a mutual agreeable trade. As am I. All the best with the rest of your harvest. Mablu, what's wrong? It's as I was saying before, even after Tobli's done for me, I'm planning to abandon it all and become a merchant. Again, have you actually talked with Tobli about this? But then I needed your help after forgetting a basic rule of trade. How can I expect Tobli to accept my decision then? Again, have you talked with Tobli about this? Have you mentioned your plans to leave so you tend to give them up then? Have you actually talked to him about this? Not exactly. I wanted to prove I could succeed as a peddler before I declared my intention. I know Tobli knows about this because we saw in the extra dialogue that he said something along the lines of so she hasn't given up or something like that. I seek to follow in my father's footsteps, but not because he expects it of me. I want to preserve Tural's peace, and become Dawn's servant happens to be the best way to do it. You should live a life of your own choosing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tobli held the same opinion. So talk to him. You're right. It's better to find out for sure than worry over what he might say. Thank you for the advice. But first, we have a saddle to buy. I want that success under my belt so I can be sure of my decision. What's next then? We try to trade our tea leaves for something halfway to 10,000 apel? No, I think we're close enough now. I say we go straight for premium mezcal. Well, that's going to be a bit of a jump, but okay. Bargain our way into double the value, eh? Think you can do it? Trust me, I will make this trade work. I admire you, Third Promise. That you're holding your own against such strong competition for the throne is inspiring. Am I really holding my own against Koana and Zoralja? I mean, of course I am. I'm Wuklamot of the Dawn's Promise, after all. Now, Wuklamot, you gotta be a little more confident than that. Excellent trade! Yeah, we went from 1,000 to 5,000. We've been doing really well. Success! You trade 1,000 apel hatchet for a 5,000 apel sack of top-grade mate leaves.